opening round of the championship, 22 laps on the 6.037.
5.79, but he's had very limited track time. David Sedell. We're looking at the 27 miles.
Well, after the crash on Thursday morning, I wasn't feeling in the best of spirits, to say the least, and was a little bit beaten up, a little bit sort of not shaken after it, but just a bit sore. My shoulder was hurting me. That was the worst of the issues. But then obviously I had to go out and race that afternoon, and my head was the biggest thing. I didn't realise until today that my head was the biggest problem on Thursday, because I was just in a bit of a daze and a bit of a world of my own.
Okay, we've got Brett Milan, marketing manager of Shoei Helmets, and he's going to walk us through the helmet that Chaz crashed with and how well it worked for Chaz in that incident.
Yeah, actually, this is really a good example that I'd like to show all the watchers out there that you know, just because a helmet doesn't look like it was damaged in a crash doesn't necessarily mean that it wasn't. And it's always a good idea, no matter how you know, severe or mild the crash was, it's always a good idea to send the helmet back to the manufacturer following a crash so that you can have it inspected to see whether it's safe to be worn again. And you know, and honestly, all you know, legitimate helmet manufacturers offer, you know, a free inspection service to, you know, anybody that needs that. So I'd like to show you this helmet. This on Thursday, Chaz had a crash, and actually he didn't even hit his head on the asphalt. He actually slid off the track and crashed into the grass. So, you know, if you look at the helmet, it doesn't even look like there's any damage done to the helmet. I mean, basically there's a couple little scuff marks that, you know, could be buffed out here, but, you know, honestly, you know, it doesn't look like there's any damage at all to the shell. However, this helmet actually is damaged a lot more than some of the helmets that are crashed, you know, onto the asphalt get damaged, and I'll show you why here. If you pop the thing open here, the helmet is actually there are two pieces on the helmet that absorb impact in the event of a crash. The first is the shell, and the shell in this case is a fiberglass composite with, you know, fiberglass with other materials, and it's made to flex, and in very, very severe accidents actually even delaminate in the event of an accident, and the delamination absorbs the energies of the impact. Now, behind the fiberglass and the shell of the helmet is the polystyrene of the helmet, and the expanded polystyrene is actually the same material that you'll find in a cooler. And so actually the polystyrene is designed to absorb impact from big accidents, but it will only absorb the impact once. So once the helmet's used up, and again, that's why I said once a helmet is crashed in, it should definitely be inspected. So if you look here, the damage to the outside of the helmet is relatively minor, but on the inside here, there's actually there's a pretty fair amount of damage here. The polystyrene here, as you see here, has some cracks in it, and that was from Chaz's head crushing up against here. So you see here that it's soft and it's done its job. It absorbed the impact and kept Chaz from having any kind of a severe injury, but in doing so, it used up that polystyrene, and once it's been made soft, it you know, is basically, it's used up and done, and the helmet, you know, at this point needs to be thrown away or put up on a shelf somewhere, you know, as a souvenir, which is actually what we're going to do with it on our shelf back at the offices at Shoei. So, and you know, so basically the biggest thing I wanted to point out to people is the fact that, you know, that a helmet that has been crashed definitely needs to be sent in, you know, to the manufacturer, you know, to be inspected to see if it's safe to continue to use it.
Thanks for taking the time. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, and hopefully, you know, Chaz was well protected in this crash, and we're hoping he doesn't have too many more the rest of the year, so he can be putting it up on the podium here on a frequent basis. You know, one of my favorite things I get to do in my job is send out contingency checks to riders that do great, and I hope that Chaz has a great year and takes a lot of my money from me.